and welcome to the Press Room with WCN TV, where we dive deeper into topics from recent editions of the Wilson County News. The Press Room is brought to you by the Wilson County News, your source for community and communication. I'm your host, Julia, the Marketing and Social Media Specialist here at the Wilson County News. In today's episode, we're covering the following topics. Elmendorf Community Library is gearing up for its spring and summer fun. Learn about their plans and how you can support the entirely volunteer-run library. Wilson County District 1 Fire and Rescue is looking to the future. Among its recent efforts are addressing citizen and firefighter safety through fire inspections and development planning, and introducing a cadet firefighter program. You can subscribe to print, digital, or both editions of the Wilson County News at wilsoncountynews.com/subscribe. So you never miss an edition of your local newspaper. Feel free to follow us where you're watching today, so you're always up to date on the Press Room and our other WCN TV news. First on today's show, you'll meet Darlene Hicks and Melody Piamzik. They're both volunteer librarians at the Elmendorf Community Library, as well as members of the Elmendorf Community Library Foundation Board. Let's hear from them about the library's plans as the weather heats up this spring and summer. Welcome to the Press Room.
Good morning. How are you?
Good morning.
I'm doing well. How are y'all today?
Good.
Great.
Awesome. So who are each of you and what do you do at the Elmendorf Community Library?
I'm Darlene Hicks and I'm president and volunteer for the library.
I'm Melody Piamzik, treasurer volunteer for the library.
Awesome. And so how did each of you come to work with the library?
I founded the library, tried to get it established for the small town of Elmendorf, where I grew up, and knew that we had no library within 12 miles either way of us, and also didn't have internet, so therefore we tried to make those items available to the public and to the community.
Yeah, it definitely was her dream child. And then not only are we high school friends, but we worked together. And when she began to voice her dream of Elmendorf having a community library, I had been a librarian, so I was like, that's nice, not believing she could pull that off because that's a lot of work. And she did. And so as soon as I retired, I was able to then give time and join the work of the library.
Is one of the ladies who actually was the head of the East Central Library as far as did all the background. She processed all the books and all this. I lucked out in sharing an office with her at one point. Ooh. So when I started talking to her about it, she's like, oh yeah, you could do this and this and this and this. So I'm like, okay. And so with that encouragement, their encouragement, that's where we got to go.
It all came into fruition.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Amazing. So let's talk about books, being that we're talking about the library. Do you have any new arrivals, featured books, or recommended reads for this spring and summer?
Yes, I brought some books to recommend. I will say that pretty much everything in the library is donated to us. Mm-hmm. We have a little to no budget at all unless somebody volunteers. So one source of our books is book clubs actually have members who will bring us their book when they have finished. Ooh. And that's this one right here. A book club just brought us Mad Honey. It's an excellent book. You learn about regular teenage relationship growing, and then you learn a lot about bees, as this book, the one of the main characters has a bee farm. So mom. It was so fun. Jodi Picoult is the author, and Wish You Were Here is another book from the book club that was donated. And this is of all Jodi Picoult's books, and she's such a wonderful author, this one was to me the most different, but it was set in COVID when this main character's husband, a doctor, is unable to go on their vacation to the Galapagos Islands, and she decides to go on her own. Interesting. And of course gets caught there when the lockdown comes.
Oh, that's fun.
We have spent some money recently on board books, and with summer coming, I notice all over the community are baby cows and baby goats and baby sheep. And so some brand new board books. And board books usually are meant for our little ones because they can be rough. And so here we've got all kind of animal sounds. One of the first things you do with your little one is, what does a cow say? What does a horse say?
Yeah.
And this one too, really cute. Not only a feel and touch, but you can hear it also. So we spent a little bit of money on board books.
Wow.
Also, you've got children's books. We have an everybody section, E, on the book. And Grumpy Monkey, he's got a whole series of books. This one's Grumpy Monkey Party Time and Grumpy Monkey. And it made me think of my grandson, because Grumpy Monkey has arms crossed, shoulders hunched, eyebrows creased, and everybody keeps asking him, why is he so grumpy? And he insists he's not grumpy. Cute story. Really cute story.
Those all sound really sweet. And those board books, that's a pretty good investment.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Wow. So that's a lot of exciting stuff, reading-wise, that folks can look forward to from your library. You mentioned that some folks were donating books.
Yes.
How can folks do that to add to your collection?
I will tell you, they just come drop them by. We're on, on Bear Avenue, Old Corpus Christi Road, near the Elmendorf City Hall. Yeah, right around the corner from there. People donate.
Bear Avenue.
And I will tell you that we have such a small space and not a lot of shelf space. So if it's a hardback book that's new and possibly in demand, we put it on the shelf. If not, every event that we have, we give away free books. So donations help us have books that we give to community kids to be sure that books are in their home.
And if they're adult books that are brought and we don't have room to shelf them, we also give them away at these functions. And you'd be surprised how many adults will come to us and be looking at the books, and they'll take books and all too. So I had one lady who donated a number of cookbooks at one time, and took them, and those things flew off the shelf. I was surprised at how many people wanted a cookbook.
Yeah. Well, interesting. So as spring and summer are rolling around, what are you looking forward to at the library? What are your favorite things about the seasons and the activities?
One of the things is the fact that more children are available and they're able to come. One of the events that we're going to have, April 1st, is we're going to do a Easter egg hunt, fly kites, face paint, all this at the Elmendorf City Park, which has recently been renamed Felix V. Guerra Park.
All right.
And it's right around the corner from the library when they come. You'll come down, make the curve, you'll see the park on the left-hand side. It'll be a covered area. We'll have nachos and sodas and stuff like that.
And of course, an Easter egg hunt.
Yes, yes. In fact, Melody has a station where she's going to help them set up to make little bag things, and then we'll go around and hunt. If you are a teenager and you would like to just come and help us hide Easter eggs, be the Easter bunny,
help kids fly kites, help plant flowers.
Right,
There's so many. We really would
plants.
like volunteers to help us with this event.
Well, how can those potential volunteers get in touch about it?
They can call us at the library, which the number is 210-314-1342,
All right.
or they can even call me personally, and it's 210-288-7826, or just come by the library and volunteer.
Awesome.
Just Google it. Google Elmendorf Community Library. And I will say we get a notice from Google every month and this month we had 62 people Google Elmendorf Library. So it's the easiest way today to find our information, our address, our phone number. And we have a website, Elmendorf Community Library. Weebly, Weebly, Weebly.com.
Right. And we also, you can either do it on Facebook, we have a Facebook page, or just our email, which is elmendorfcommunitylibrary.gmail.com, and they could send us a text, and we can communicate back and forth.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Look under groups. Under groups, we have an Elmendorf Community Library also.
Very nice.
In
So
Facebook.
lots of ways that people can get in touch with y'all.
Lots of ways.
So remind me again, when is this egg hunt happening?
April the 1st.
April 1st.
From
Saturday, April 1st. From
1 to 3.
1 to 3?
It's
Is it
1 to 3.
Okay, so then we have another
We decided
event
to do it
coming
in the afternoon. In the summer, we're doing it in the morning. We have an event coming up in the summer.
Because it gets too warm out there.
Yeah.
The later it
Well,
goes.
what is this event coming up in the summer?
Well, we're really in the beginning of planning it. Right now, we're looking at a after-school event on Saturday, June the 10th, and we're in the planning, but an Olympic event where we'll have all kinds of a field day events for kids to come and earn little beads that they will have how they've placed in each of their events.
And you'll see it on the web pages and stuff as we put it up, and it'll be called School's Out Kickoff. Right. So that's what you'll look for.
Yeah, you're kicking off summer. How sweet. All right. So other than these special activities that y'all put so much effort into planning, which, by the way, kudos to y'all because completely volunteer run and you're finding time to do things like that. But what other kinds of community activities does the library host? Do you do anything on a more regular basis?
Well, children's story time is something you can depend on every Thursday morning.
Right.
And we have activities always in the Children's Center on a table. Right now, Q-tip painting, cute little butterflies and multicolors of paint where they can do Q-tip painting. I tried one myself. Always you got to try it out and make sure it's really cute. And we also have tissue paper flowers for them to make and some fun things in the center. Always is there no matter what time you come. But Children's Story Hour, Thursday mornings at 10 a.m.
And when we do Story Hour, we sit down with them and read a book. Then afterwards, we do a craft related to the story. And they can take that craft home with them after they finish.
Well, sweet. All right. And I also understand that y'all have some sort of program that helps folks prepare for tests like the GED or other maybe college entrance tests like the SATs.
We have a young man who comes and he will sit down and help people with that or get them started, or we can get them online. If we need to try to look for certain books for them, such as that, they can come and look for the GD books or whatever. Sometimes we get stuff from Half Price Books, so if they need to get a book like that, we can refer them to Half Price Books. Right. Or see if we can find it for them, and if they want to purchase it, we'll go get it for them and bring it to them.
Palo Alto has also told us that should we have somebody seriously interested, that they would set us up with an online course for anybody that wanted it to.
Wow, so that's definitely a resource to look into.
Yeah, we had a lady who actually is a professor at Palo Alto, Dr. Tanguma, and she has been interested that if someone needs the help, she will come to the library and work with them. But they would have to let us know, and we'd have to set that up with her.
Right. Well, that's amazing that that's even an option. So, wow, y'all offer so much. And so you mentioned earlier that you definitely don't mind having volunteers come out to help you at your egg hunt event and possibly at the summer kickoff. But what about in general? Are you looking for volunteers to help out at the library?
We always need volunteers. We really run by just a handful of ladies. One's right now just had a hip replacement. Another one has gone on a month-long family trip. You know, we're always needing volunteers. We're open on Saturdays, and pretty much it's Darlene and I taking turns. So anybody who during the week, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, those are the days we're open from 9 to 5. Some people want to give just 4-hour shift once a month. Others say once a week they will do a 4-hour shift. And then we've got some that do all day. I do all day on my days. Darlene does all day. So any time that a volunteer could help us, we would love it. Just love it. And don't be afraid. Like, oh no, I don't know anything about the library. Really, you're there to sit at a desk and to greet people, to help them. We've got all kinds of instructions on what they need to do. Let's just say you check a book out to somebody and you don't remember how to do the checking out on the computer. You write down the title and the author and the person's name that checked it out, and the next person who volunteers will check it out. It's really a no pressure. We really just want people to come and to see and to be a part of this, to be a part of the community, helping this community.
Well, I know a lot of high schoolers are going to be looking for some credit hours for programs like MHS.
Yes.
Possibly even college students looking at getting some.
And we have had that before. We have had that before. We will fill out their paperwork to get them the hours that they need. We also had one lady who did it for Probably about 3 years. She started out when we first were putting the library together, helping us, and she would come back every time she had time off. And we just saw her last week, and she will be graduating from college with this next semester with a library degree.
Wow.
So she just fell in love with it.
Yeah.
But kids can just come and help and donate their time. Also, if you're needing to do community service, you can come there and we'll fill out the documentation for you, and you can come however many hours. Like, let's say you need 20 hours community service. When you want to do a few hours this day and a few hours another day to add up to 20, that's fine too.
Awesome. And you'll just help them all out. That's amazing.
Yeah.
All right. So in the meantime, as your events are going to be coming up April 1st and then that June summer kickoff, as well as to find, general information about the library or even inquire about becoming part of your team, where should folks go?
Well, definitely remember, just Google
Yes.
Elmendorf Community Library. And from there, there's the address, there's our phone number, there's the website links, all there if you Google it.
The website, the Facebook, all of those show up as a listing under.
Yes.
Elmendorf Community
On
Library.
elmendorfcommunitylibrary.weebly.com, we have a calendar that you can access to see what might be going on. But the easiest thing I think to do is just Google it. And then, of course, we have a Facebook page.
Right.
So not only a Facebook page, Elmendorf, but we have a group. So you have your page and you would just Google Elmendorf Library and you would be able to find us at that time, at that place.
All right. Well, that sounds awesome.
And again, the days that we're open is Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday from 9 to 5.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much for your time this morning, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We really
Thank you for having
appreciate
us.
being able to get the word out.
Next, we're talking with Wilson County District 1 Fire and Rescue. Fire Chief Chris Thompson will tell us about the changes going on at the district, why they are necessary as our communities continue to grow, and the differences that will result. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Who are you and where are you from?
I'm Chris Thompson, I'm the fire chief from Wilson County Emergency Services District Number 1. That's generally, everyone refers to it as the Vernia Fire.
All right. And so what do you do as the fire chief?
I don't respond as much as I used to. I'm mainly in the office now. We've gotten quite a bit bigger since our volunteer days.
Yeah.
But I do direct 21 full-time paid staff and 2 full-time stations.
Wow. So keeping you busy.
Busy,
Yeah.
yes.
So what exactly is Wilson County District 1 Fire and Rescue?
Okay, so we are what is now considered a career fire department. We are no longer a volunteer fire department. We still have volunteers, but our paid staff is so that the state considers us a career fire department.
Right.
And we are an emergency services district, so we are self-funded through an ad valorem tax. So we're not actually a part of the city of Livernia, although we do serve and service the area of Livernia.
All right. So what kinds of emergency situations do you respond to?
So we make pretty much any emergency medical service run that comes in, from heart attacks to motor vehicle accidents, falls, slips, trips, entrapments of all kinds. That we believe it or not, there's quite a few agricultural entrapments we do every now and then.
Wow.
And then of course structure fires and grass fires, and then enforce the burn ban
Right.
for illegal burning and things like that.
Wow. So lots of stuff that your district is responsible for and that you'll have to keep up with.
Yes.
Wow. So I understand District 1 Fire and Rescue has been taking applications for a new cadet firefighter program. So what is this and how will it help address staffing for your department?
Sure. So typically fire departments our size will hire already certified folks. They already possess their TCFP basic firefighter and at least their basic EMT through Department of Health and Human Services. just like everybody else in every other industry, we're struggling to get applicants. With the invent of the ESD, when I first started in my career, it was either Corpus Fire, San Antonio Fire, Houston Fire, Austin Fire. Big cities were the only paid spots.
Yeah.
So jobs were a lot harder to get, so you had lots and lots of applicants. Now you have all of these small cities that now are paid. You have lots and lots of ESDs that have popped up, so we're all hiring. So the demand is high and the applicants are low. So we decided to think out of the box, and we created our own fire academy that's certified by the Texas Commission on Fire Protection.
Wow.
And we partnered with Wilson County District 3, which is our EMS partner, and we are taking applications for cadets. So this would be untrained folks, a demographic that we might be missing out on, to try and find some good quality candidates, either local or within 60, 70 miles, or somebody that wants to relocate here that we might be missing out on. Otherwise, it would make a good firefighter,
Right.
but didn't have the opportunity to go and pay for training on their own. So we're taking some accepted risks of accepting untrained personnel and bringing them in, paying them to go through training, and then hoping we build a good bond with them, a family atmosphere, and they stay around, and we kind of tap it into a different market.
Yeah, it sounds
So,
like it.
and typically, if we hire for an opening, we'll get 2 applicants, 3 applicants that are certified per opening, which doesn't leave us a lot to choose from.
Yeah.
This process, we've had it open for 3 weeks, and we're over 52 or 3 applicants now.
That's
So
amazing.
big increase in the applicant pool. So hopefully we'll have some good ones to choose from.
Yeah, and so from what I understand, you're paying for them to go to school, so all of this is free to the applicant?
Yeah, I mean, it's free to them, but they're also getting paid. They're getting an hourly wage to be in class. So we will utilize them so they'll do 3 days of Fire Academy, and they'll do 2 days with EMS. On the 3 days of Fire Academy, there will be some actual hands-on. We've already confirmed it with TCFP. They'll be able, once they reach a certain level of training, they'll be able to actually respond to a few calls and get a little more hands-on, and all of the training will be done in the station. So a little different than the general classroom setting, but I think it'll work, and hopefully it's successful for us.
Well, I hope so too. How does one become a firefighter like you? You mentioned that there were some other programs that you can choose to pay for and go through outside of your cadet training.
Yeah, so the cadet program is we're hiring outside folks. You got to go through a rigorous process of testing and background, et cetera, et cetera. We also have our volunteer program. Our volunteer program is very selective. We usually will bring on 2 to 4 people at a time, usually about 3. We don't take everybody that applies. We really want to vet them to see that they either want a career or they want to really serve their community. They're not just looking for something fun to do on the weekends.
Right.
Because we do invest a ton of time into our volunteers, and currently every volunteer we have, with the exception of I think the 3 newest ones, are all certified now. So they could theoretically go out and get a job, but some of them make good money elsewhere, and they just enjoy serving their community. So the volunteer program is really good. If you're out there looking, we do have the volunteer program. It's on our website. You can apply for that, and we will actually pay for your training. You kind of come in and you go through a task book, which is a set of skills that we document. And once you kind of progress through that, then we'll have our next academy, and we can, if you show good progress through that, we will put you in that. And we've actually hired several of our volunteers, quite a few of them actually.
Wow.
That actually started careers. Some of them have gone to San Antonio Fire after getting certified with us. Some have gone to New Braunfels, a few other departments, and then some are still with us.
That's amazing. All right. So we heard that District 1 Fire and Rescue will begin conducting fire inspections for Wilson County soon. So why is the district filling that need?
Okay. So after the retirement of the Fire Marshal Edwin Baker, the county had a gap in doing inspections for high vulnerability populations. Childcare, daycares, childcare, foster homes, nursing homes, assisted living, adult daycare, and group homes. So that's what we'll be inspecting right now. And we're working with Hank Whitman, the new county judge, to actually reduce, if we can, the cost of the inspections for foster homes. And we're also trying to turn those around a lot quicker, so we can get kids placed in foster homes a lot sooner. So it's just a need that's there. We already had our own fire prevention division. It was just a natural fit. The county doesn't have to employ somebody to do that.
Right.
We already have them on staff. So it's just a minor exchange between the county and us to get that done.
That makes a lot of sense. So we also heard that District 1 will now be part of the pre-development planning meetings with the city of Vernia.
That's correct.
So what will your role be in that, and how will that benefit the city?
Yeah, so the city didn't really have a set plan when a new building or a new subdivision or something came in, or a big remodel. And so there was a lot of gaps in there, miscommunications of what was required, what's not required. The city has adopted their own fire code. It's the same fire code that we have, but the city has their own jurisdiction, so they adopt it. And they had their own private inspector that they hired, and he only worked 1 day a week. So there was a lot of miscommunication, and unfortunately some people built some stuff and didn't realize that sprinklers were going to be required, or they didn't ask the fire department about hydrant placement, or can we handle this type of building, or do they need fire lanes, or do we have access. Gated community came in and really didn't do any, cut off almost 300 homes, I think, or 180 homes from fire and police, because there was nothing on the gates to allow us to get in other than the gate code.
Yeah.
So by their fire code, really there should have been some other things put in. So that's what the pre-planning is to allow us to get in there, not only us, but public works, law enforcement, to kind of just raise our hands and say, hey, have you thought about this?
Yeah.
You're going to need, you're going to have gates, so they need to have a Knox box, or they need to have a siren operated opener for both law enforcement and fire and EMS. And then sprinklers are the big one. That's a huge expense, but it is part of the code. So if a building is big enough or has a certain occupancy, it's going to require that. So that just kind of allows us up front to let them know that, hey, this building will require that most likely. So there were some shocked people that built some stuff, or were going to plan on building some stuff. Really great ideas, stuff great for the community, but once they found out they were going to have to do sprinklers, it was a little late. So it's just a way for us to all get involved and sit down at the table and help the developer understand what they're going to need before they get too far down the road.
Right, prevent those problems from happening again.
Yeah, I think it's a great thing, and something that's needed. And I think the city recognized that. It was just a matter of kind of putting it in as an ordinance. Sometimes they did it, sometimes they didn't. And it's like anything, if you don't kind of have that process or that rule in place, it kind of sometimes goes away and doesn't happen. So it's a good thing for the community.
Absolutely. And so how will this help to keep citizens and firefighters alike, or other first responders, safe?
Yeah, so fire code is not just random things that were developed by the international NFPA or any of the other international fire code organizations. Fire codes are built off of deaths.
Right.
So, they started back in New York when they had major deaths of certain things, and the fire code kind of built over time. So enforcing fire code and having fire code is a safety mechanism for firefighters and for the citizens, ensuring that citizens can get out of buildings, and it's mainly commercial structures. So, the citizen comes into a building, they don't know what's inside that building, or, it's up to the owner of that building to ensure the safety of their customers. And then us as firefighters, we kind of have certain expectations of how things are built. Building construction comes into play a lot. The more we know about how the building is constructed, the more we can predict collapses or firefighter dangers, places you don't want to go and get involved in, that, because of a high load of, high stack storage or HVAC on the roof, or there's a myriad of things that allowing us to be in early and see it will help firefighters fight that fire more effectively. So yeah, again, the process is going to be a good thing.
Absolutely. So as inspectors for Wilson County, going back to that, what all will the district be responsible moving forward?
So just had the meeting with the city, should be on the next city council. So we will be doing all new fire inspections for any new occupancies that come in. We'll be doing plans, examinations for any new subdivisions and any new construction, as well as the ongoing inspections as buildings are built. And then after that, we will inspect buildings once a year as required by the fire code. And the big benefit of that is fire code helps your PPC or your ISO rating. And the lower that rating is, the better your insurance rates are. And right now, the city and our jurisdiction outside the city is a class 4. The rating goes from a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the worst, 1 being the best. At a rating of 4, residents get the highest or the best premiums they can get if their insurance company uses the PPC rating. We're trying to take that city into a 3 or a 2, which fire code and fire inspections and being diligent with it and keeping the records will help us get there. And once you start reaching the 3s and the 2s, now commercial buildings start getting the impact of better insurance rates.
Right.
So you become more marketable also as a city. Hey, we're an ISO 2. You can build a bigger manufacturing facility because your insurance costs are less, as opposed to, having a rating of a 6 or a 7.
Right.
Then they have to do some things to help their rate. But so it's a good marketing tool to help attract businesses, but also for those businesses that are there, it'll help them in their insurance premiums.
Right. They can make their costs go down, or they might be able to afford better protection for what they had been paying in the past.
Correct.
That's awesome. That's going back to keeping your community safe, preventing accidents before they happen, hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah.
And in worst case, being able to lend a helping hand with the help of insurance.
Right.
Yeah. So we also heard during the March 9th Vernia City Council meeting that the district is considering the purchase of a ladder truck in the future. So what kind of equipment do you currently have, and how would this new type of truck fill any gaps that you may have in your current capabilities?
Yeah, so a ladder truck has been under, since I've been fire chief, I think 7 years now. A ladder truck, every year we do strategic planning. A ladder truck always comes up.
Yeah.
But a ladder truck is very expensive, and it's not utilized on every fire. So it's kind of always taken a lower priority, and our highest priority has been insurance rates. Get that ISO rating as good as we can, and then bring on firefighters, and then bring on our engine companies, which is what fights the majority of our fires. And then we have a lot of wildland, so we had to update our wildland fleet. We also combined a lot of trucks to be very efficient. So our trucks are a little bigger than what you might see in a city, because we don't know. A city has rescue trucks, ladder trucks, engines, special trucks. Our trucks kind of have to be all in one, so they look a little different than others.
Well, because you never know if you're going to have to rush down a county road that's
Right.
not paved. Or
Right, and we might be out at an EMS run and have to go make a car wreck or a fire, so we want to be in a vehicle that has everything we need at all times, as opposed to taking this vehicle and then having to run back to the fire station and grab another one if another call comes in. So our trucks are set up to where they can handle any call we get, and so we're getting to that point where a ladder truck is kind of rising to the top. And the way it's determined by ISO is if you have more than 5 buildings that are over 3 stories, or you have buildings that require high fire flows, and we already meet that threshold. HEB, the schools, the hotel, the apartment complexes, all of those are high, and the nursing home are all high water flow. So it is time for us to start seriously considering a ladder truck, but it's all budget driven. Ladder trucks are the most expensive trucks you can buy,
Right.
but they provide, a really needed avenue. And most people think it's just because of the aerial part that they see. That's the prominent thing, is the big ladder.
Right.
But also on 2-story homes, we can't get that big ladder to them. But that ladder truck carries a full complement of ground ladders that our engines can't carry. Our engines carry a lot of water and pump capacity and hose. The ladders carry a lot more ladders. We have a very limited number of ladders. So yeah, on a ladder truck, that's the gap that it fills, is it brings lots of ladders. So we can
Right.
we can get those ladders thrown up on more buildings. And so when will you see it? I don't know, but it is coming to the top.
Yeah.
We do have one in St. Hedwig that we can use, and it is on our first alarm. But for ISO purposes, we don't get any credit for it.
That makes sense. And so adding a ladder truck to your equipment would help improve your ISO rating, but would also be some more marketing that the city could do to bring in, again, more developing businesses that want to build more, or buildings with more stories.
Right.
Right. Okay. So we've talked a lot of information today. So where can folks go to learn more about Wilson County District 1 Fire and Rescue, your cadet program, county fire inspections, any of your developments?
Yeah, sure. So we maintain a website. It's District 1 Fire and Rescue. It's district1fire.com.
Okay.
Pretty simple address there. The cadet program is under applications right there on the bar. All of our trucks are there. Our ISO rating is there. There's lots and lots of information about us and who we are and how we operate. We try and keep on that the burn ban. That's a real common phone call we get. So our Facebook page, our profile picture is either a green, you can burn, or red, you can't burn.
Right.
So we try and keep that real simple, and we also maintain that on the front page of our website. So yeah,
Great.
district1fire.com is the best place to go.
Well, awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time out of your very busy day to come and tell
Welcome.
us about District 1, all of these amazing developments you are working on and already setting out on. So
Great. Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
that's all for today, folks. Thank you for tuning in to the Press Room with WCN TV, brought to you by the Wilson County News. For more information about anything we mentioned in today's show, see the March 22nd edition of the Wilson County News or visit wilsoncountynews.com. You can also find articles corresponding to each topic discussed today in this video's description. Remember to follow us where you're watching so you never miss an episode, and consider subscribing to receive the print, digital, or both editions of the Wilson County News each week. You can find more news, including free news, or subscribe at wilsoncountynews.com. You can also download our app, Go Wilson, to receive updates from our newsroom at your fingertips and to access the La Vernia News and City of Floresville resources. The app is available for Apple and Android devices at gowilsonapp.com. We hope you'll tune in next week for another episode of The Press Room. We'll see you then.